Thank you. His interim role lasted more than a year, and now Richard Nystedt is ready to hand over the reins, leading the city of Topeka to a permanent hire. Before he goes, he is making a final visit here. So welcome to you, Richard Nystedt.
Well,
good to have you here one more time.
Thank you for having me out here. I've enjoyed coming out. I'm going to miss this part.
I'm glad. I'm glad. Did you expect that you'd be in this job for a year?
Well, what I told my wife was 4 to 6 weeks.
So longer than that.
I didn't really think a year, but I'm not surprised because these things take time.
Well, you have stepped into leading some issues that have taken time. Among them, the city's purchase of Hotel Topeka, and then also we were in the midst of studying what to do with the people who are homeless, how we can help them, what resources should be available. So as you prepare to leave Hotel Topeka, where are we at on that, and how are you feeling about the decision to make that purchase?
Well, the decision to make that purchase was not wrong. Otherwise, that hotel would have sat there. It would have languished there. Somebody else may have bought it, and they may not have seen the vision for it like the rest of the people do. And remember, you've got the hotel, you've got the expo center, and you have the Manor Center. So those are all together. So I'm feeling good about that. City Council is having discussions with the County Commission about what the next step is. And I've made a suggestion on that there ought to at least be some expenditures just to do some housekeeping. Like, you'd be surprised what new bedspreads in an old hotel will do. Things like that. There are things that can be done that kind of say to people, especially if you're trying to sell it, we still care about this and we're still taking care of it.
And continuing to review applications. Tomorrow is when the Hotel Development Corporation is meeting, continuing. Any idea when they'll make that decision?
I don't know, because it still has to go to the City Council. So my guess it'd be a couple weeks.
Regarding homelessness, we heard the recommendations finally here a week or so ago. At the same time, we got those point and count numbers that show an increase in the number of people experiencing homelessness in Topeka. One of the criticisms as we look at the recommendations is that you're not talking about implementing solutions and building until 2027. Is that satisfactory? And that's if the governing body acts on any of those recommendations. So where do you stand, and how can we do something more immediate? Should we do something more immediate? Is that timetable fair?
I think it is, but there are things going on now in our social service department. They have been doing things all along to work with the homeless. And the other part of that homeless recommendation was that it recommended that the city not be the lead agent on it, that the social service agencies get together and they be the lead agent. Now, what I would tell you, Melissa, and I would tell our viewers, is the city will always, always be a part of that discussion.
Do we have agencies and organizations lined up? And what can the governing body do to facilitate or incentivize, if you want to use that term, having agencies say, okay, we'll spearhead building tiny houses. We'll spearhead opening a resource center. We'll spearhead a low barrier shelter.
Well, the governing body needs to express that, and I believe they have. They're taking a look at that study, and they'll be talking more about it. And I would tell you that there are conversations underway with our social service agencies and our departments that handle that about programs like that. How do we get grant money? How do we actually collaborate on this, and how do we bring that about?
Grant money, that gets to the heart of the issue. Who pays for all of this? And if you say the city, that means taxpayers. Why would some of that be a good investment or not be a good investment?
Well, I'll tell you what, it would be a good investment because you would help get people off the street. You would help get people start being a member of productive society. I mean, we all need help. And I think sometimes what we forget are the homeless are us. They're our family, they're our mothers, they're our fathers, they're our sisters, they're our brothers. And it's an opportunity. I think it's just like putting money into juvenile justice. Every dollar you put into a youth is a dollar you don't have to put into incarceration. Every dollar you put in to help the homeless is a dollar that you don't have to put into having to arrest somebody or having to clean up a camp, but you're helping a person take a big step and get back on the road.
Dr. Robert Perez from Dallas, Texas takes over. It was said late June, early July. Do we know the day? When is he arriving?
June 24th.
June 24th, Dr. Perez will be here. Any final message? What are you most proud of in this past year? Are you really going to retire?
Well, let's see. Do you know if my wife and daughters are watching? Anyway, yes, I am going to retire. I've loved being here. I have loved being here. This is a great city. I never thought I'd ever be out at WIBW and sitting here having conversations with you, but this is a good city. And this is the capital city. I've been honored to be asked to come up and manage the governing city through this time. You have good elected officials. You have good staff members. You have good city employees. And you have a good community with good citizens. And I am proud the role that WIBW plays in this entire community, because I've been in communities where the press, the media and the press did not understand how they could be a positive impact.
Doesn't mean we don't ask you hard questions, because
Well,
we do.
well, that's right.
We file our requests and everything
right.
else. Richard Neistat, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it. And all the best to you as you head into maybe retirement.
Thank you.
You bet.
Thank you.
We're going to find out how aspiring entrepreneurs can get in front of buyers and win prizes next.